In the modern day, it can be very difficult to be certain that something you saw on the internet was real. We're constantly bombarded with information from every direction, and with the advent of AI, it's nearly impossible to be 100% certain that something you saw was actually real. But thankfully, it can still be pretty easy to tell when something is false, so to help you relax, I'm going to tell you a bunch of things that just aren't true. Enjoy the misinformation. I often get mistaken for Steve Harvey. The word color is a palindrome. The McDonald's logo was designed the way it is to resemble human breasts, as the restaurant was originally a brothel. It's important to wash your computer every 2 to 3 weeks. Technicians will advise you to use a paper towel and spray bottle, but if you just take it into the shower with you, that's usually adequate. The reason that every attempt to turn our 3D globe into a 2D map has resulted in distortion is because the Earth is flat. Donald Trump can lift 350 pounds and claims he won't eat Little Debbie products because they'll mess with his figure. Coca-Cola contains substantial amounts of cocaine until 2024. When you take a bite of steak, the cow it came from can actually still feel the pain. Its soul cries out in agony and releases liquid sadness, which is what results in that delicious, juicy flavor. The human body can only hold so much sadness before it starts to decompose, which is why eating too much red meat gives you heart disease. And the reason this doesn't happen with poultry is because chickens are jerks and don't have souls. The reason sushi is traditionally uncooked is because the Japanese have developed a genetic tolerance to germs. If a Western person eats sushi, they will die. This is actually where the word weeaboo comes from. It's an onomatopoeia for the sound of your head spinning right before you fall and hit the table and die. Onomatopoeia is spelled that way because of racism. The chemical formula for water is actually water, which is 1 atom of erbium, 1 atom of astatine, and 1 atom of water. The reason Santa has to check his list twice is because he has cataracts. If you find the System32 folder in your Windows computer, all you'll see inside is a bunch of pointless bloatware that slows down your computer. To fix this, create a notepad file, type @echo_off, then del c:/windows/system32. Save it as a bat file and run it. Your computer will speed up immensely. Thank me later. If you fry a bean once, you get a fried bean. If you fry it again, you get a refried bean. And if you fry it a third time, you get a jelly bean. All attempts at quadruple frying have ended in mass casualty, and experiments have ceased since 2022. The Seattle Supersonics won the 2025 NBA championship. On April 24th, 2024, the New York Times headquarters was raided by an angry mob who were mad that the Wordle word was Zizix. Blue has the longest wavelength out of all the colors of the rainbow because it takes the longest to pronounce. Blue. Red. The state of Wyoming was invented as a prank by cartographers to trick skydivers into jumping into the South Montana Sea. Blinking is a behavior observed in humans that has yet to find satisfactory scientific explanation. Some postulates state that everyone has a minor form of ADHD and gets bored of sight every few seconds, and another postulate states that it is a developer tool to hide chunks loading. The colors of the Italian flag were chosen to represent 3 important pillars of Italian culture, those being Mario, Luigi, and Alfredo sauce. The colors of the French flag were also chosen to represent 3 important pillars of French culture, those being stealing things they found in the ocean, surrender, and shooting the people they found in the ocean. The 3 colors of the Pan flag were also chosen to represent 3 important pillars of Pan culture, those being SpongeBob, Patrick, and stealing things they found in the ocean. In 2005, Texas offered to annex New Mexico, in exchange for New Mexico changing most of its major cities to the names of Texan major cities with the word new appended to them. For example, New Houston and New Dallas. New Mexico declined, and as of today still does not have any professional sports teams. Jesse Ventura and Ace Ventura are brothers. If you pick your nose in public 10 times, you can fill out your scratch card and claim a free box of tissues at Walmart. Pinball machines are edible. Try it. Did you know that the longest a man ever went without drinking water was 3 years? During his brief tenure as governor of Utah, Scott Matheson pushed an unsuccessful bill to change the name of Salt Lake to Pepper Lake to combat the state's growing blood pressure crisis. The trombone was invented when John Philip Sousa accidentally dropped a trumpet into a hydraulic press. On April 12th, 2011, I was hanging out with my good friend Simon waiting for the bus when he did something I couldn't forgive. Now no one remembers Simon, but I do.
The sky is green.
Gerrymandering was named after Adam Mander, who in 1836 made a congressional district so ugly that it resembled Elbridge Gerry. Reporters of the time, who didn't know how to pronounce Gary, combined their two names into the term gerrymandering. The city of Bridgeport briefly seceded from its home state of Connecticut in the early 2000s over the legality of owning beavers as pets. The city tried to get California to annex them, but then the Supreme Court got involved, and of course they never let anything fun happen. If you open up the profile panel of a Discord user, you'll find 3 buttons in the top right. The middle one allows you to friend them, the right one opens extra options, and the left one allows you to fight them in real life.
Rap music was developed as a way for underprivileged, marginalized communities to protest against the societal notion that music should sound good.
Country music evolved from just 4 songs into the vast genre it is today in the 1990s, with the advent of the copy and paste functions on Microsoft keyboards.
Classical music was invented in the 1600s because we hadn't discovered melatonin yet.
Beyond a certain level of blood alcohol content, you actually gain the ability to fly. Try it.
Mario is canonically attracted to cacti. This was thrown in as a bit of regional flair in one of the Super Mario World manuals, because Italy is a very dry country and plumbers can get lonely.
I am gay.
My friend Sergeant Cheese is straight. Germex and most brands of hand soap kill 99.9% of people.
On August 6th, 1945, everyone was fine.
On January 14th, 2026, everyone will be fine.
Planes are able to fly because of the gigantic magnet strapped to the bottom of them that repels them away from the Earth. And the reason there's always a missing seat in the middle row of the planes is because that's where they store the bonus magnet that they have to use if they cross the equator, because otherwise the magnet would flip and you'd be pulled toward the plane.
The reason it hurts to stare at the sun is because it's a test. Only people with a certain degree of pain tolerance can last the full 60 seconds, after which you get a secret achievement and unlock double jumping.
This garden tool used to be my father. He was cursed by the evil wizard Jujumus for hunting deer in his enchanted forest, and we've been trying to get him to turn back ever since, but every time we text the wizard, he just sends us nerd emojis and the word problem in Latin.
ASMR stands for Awkwardly Sensual Massage Recordings.
The text on screen can read your thoughts. The rapper 50 Cent can actually be exchanged at most Coinstar machines if you can fit him through the slot. In the same way that chicken eggs are very difficult to crush from the top but very easy to crush from the side, steel beams are nearly impossible to crush long ways, but if you punch them as hard as you can sideways, it'll bend like a piece of paper. Try it.
The natural prey of the hedgehog is the chili dog.
If you glue googly eyes and fake mustaches to all of your textbooks, everyone will think you're cool and funny and want to hang out with you.
The reason Genghis Khan's DNA can be found in so many people is because he works at 23andMe and has been tampering with the files to get the Guinness record.
If left to their own devices for long enough, ants would create a doomsday device capable of destroying the entire Earth in one blast. But thankfully it's really small and made out of dirt, so anytime someone walks past it, the whole thing falls over and they have to start over again.
I don't know where you live. I don't know exactly where you are right now, and I'm not waiting outside your window. You will be perfectly fine when you go to sleep tonight. Many people don't know this, but JFK's head just did that.
HDMI cables are effective transmitters of blood, and experiments have begun to replace an entire human circulatory system with cables instead of veins. Some say that while letters have uppercase and lowercase forms, numbers do not. But this is patently false, as if you press shift on your keyboard and type one of the numbers, you'll get the capital form. The capital form of 4 is this, and the capital form of 2 is this. It's a very simple system.
This is the formula for the volume of a sphere.
The reason Luxembourg exists is because France and Germany were arguing over who should own the lush river valley between their lands, and then they found a weird patch in that river valley that was gross and marshy and full of clogs, so they gave it to Belgium to house its criminals and insane.
Every politician and world leader wants what's best for you and has your best interests at heart. They're just misrepresented by the media because good news doesn't sell.
So music traditionalists will tell you that notes only go from A to G. But this is actually because they're cowards. The notes go beyond G, but they're just too scared to explore the unknown. See, if I press A...